Hello and welcome to the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. My name is Andrew Weaver, CEO of LawyerFair, and we are taking a slight diversion on our normal journey with these podcasts because we're being very introspective today because joining me is Prameet Dhaliwal, who is a new member of the LawyerFair team. Welcome, Prameet.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for bringing me onto the team.
Not at all. Now, people may be wondering why we're kind of talking over a Skype connection, but LawyerFair, we're both kind of working flat out and in various parts of the country with various meetings. So that's the reason why we're having this chat over Skype. We do occasionally meet each other, don't we, in the office?
Yes, we do indeed. Our lovely offices in southwest London.
Indeed, and in fact, I've primed you to try and take a few more photographs because they're such lovely offices, and the artwork of our hosts is quite glorious.
It is pretty amazing.
It is. Catherine Priestley, we give her a name check of the amount of lovely art that we sit amongst. But anyway, Primate, welcome to the LawyerFair team. You've been with us a few days, if not moving into weeks now, helping us with our sales and biz development. And one of the reasons why I like you being part of the team is you've got a strong entrepreneurial history with the family.
Definitely, yeah. I think it just runs through my blood being an entrepreneur. I think from a young sort of age, it's always been a driving factor within my family on both sides. My parents, my grandparents especially, coming from India and building an established business really, whether it's in with shops or housing, property development. And I've always been, since a young age, kind of wanting that urge to make money and go through different ventures really, and it's always been with me.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we're trying to do at LawyerFair, as you know, and we're kind of publicly acknowledging on this podcast, is we're trying to get people who really are passionate about what we're doing. To me, that's absolutely critical if you're trying to grow a young company like ours. And I must admit, when you told me the story of your grandparents, I mean, it's a classic story, isn't it, of coming to the UK and kind of just working their fingers to the bone to create the businesses and stuff. And it's a wonderful story, and I think that's bearing in mind the amount of kind of migrant entrepreneurs and foreign entrepreneurs that come onto the site. I think there's a real crossover there, isn't it, of your own personal experience with the work you're doing.
Definitely, I think it's really important as well. I mean, services like LawyerFair are here to support businesses, and I think that was something that wasn't around back in the day when my grandparents were kind of building a business. They didn't know who to turn to, so they'd only turn to friends who had been through similar situations. So I think it's nice if a migrant worker comes to the UK and they want to build a business, you've got to understand that kind of rules and regulations are different within their country. So when they come to the UK, it's always good to have someone on hand, especially as we are a free service, to kind of give them advice about which way to go, which avenue to explore, especially with building up their business. And they want to do well within this country. So it's very important to have services like LawyerFair around, really.
Well, listen, I've got my LawyerFair bingo card here, and I think you've managed to tick most of them. So free service was a great one. We got that one in. Helping people find lawyers is clearly a major part of it. So well done. I think the lawyership, I was about to say bullshit bingo. Have you heard of bullshit bingo?
No.
Bullshit bingo is the alternative. That was a pretty of a Freudian slip. So if you're sitting in a meeting with particularly if it's kind of a bunch of guys or girls in pinstripe suits and stuff, you get the bullshit bingo card out and you just knock off all those kind of phrases that kind of corporate people like to use.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, blue sky thinking and low hanging fruit.
I think it's that sales training in me.
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. It was me mentioning the bullshit bingo card. In fact, you just remind me. I used to do it at the MBA. I came from the MBA, and bullshit bingo cards were necessary during some of those lectures. I tell you. But anyway, sorry about that. I stumbled into a private world of my own there. Thank you very much for joining us, because you are a wonderful additional breath of fresh air to the team. And we're kind of, people who do listen to the podcast, which is obviously only about 3. I think my mother is one of them. But we're growing our audience gradually. But many of the people that do listen now or in the future will come across you in terms of work. So it's very much an opportunity to welcome you. And you're kind of helping us drive our sales and our biz dev and all that kind of lovely stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, very exciting. It's a very exciting time for LawyerFair as well. So lots of new business and companies to approach.
Yeah, well, it is. Well, it's lovely to see you. Well, at least to chat with you. I'll be seeing you again tomorrow in the office. But here's a large hurrah to you, and thanks for joining us both in the company and also on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Prameet. Speak to you soon. And that was,
Speak to you soon.
thanks, Prameet. That was a bit of a self-indulgent podcast to introduce Prameet, but we'll be back again tomorrow, no doubt, with a new guest and some more interesting chat. Thanks for listening.